Well, hello, my friends. JW here, and welcome to another brand new episode of the Eastlake Animal Education Centre. I hope you've all been well. It has been a little while since the last episode, actually. I don't remember how long ago it was, to be completely honest with you. It was probably about a month, I reckon. About 3 weeks to a month. Probably just over, actually, because I recorded it in advance and then released it the week after. So yeah, probably looking at about 4 or 5 weeks in total since the last episode. I've been working on a brand new iteration of the Eastlake Animal Education Centre. So in the last episode, if you haven't seen it, why not? In the last episode, I told you that I was pretty unhappy with the vibe I was getting from the Eastlake Animal Education Centre. It's meant to be this state-of-the-art, sort of education-focused, eco-friendly city zoo. It's essentially what it's going to be. But it has very small beginnings, so a lot of the habitats need to sort of be budget-friendly. Now, budget-wise, we're actually doing quite alright. We're nearly at 1 million. Oh, we just lost a pig. Yeah, we're nearly at 1 million. So budget-wise, we're doing absolutely fine. And that's before we've even got the majority of the education centre built. This is just the barnyard and, again, not even all the reptarium. So budget-wise, we're doing fine. With that in mind, I wanted something different. I wanted an entrance plaza that said we're modern, we're eco-friendly, we're education-focused, we're not like other city zoos. And I've gone ahead and I have built an idea for what that would look like to me. And it also, the entrance does sort of overshadow the rest of the education centre at the moment. But as the sort of zoo fills out, as more habitats get built, the entrance won't seem quite as large as it does at the moment. So, without any further delay, let's show you the brand new version. Work in progress, don't forget, it's not actually 100% confirmed. But let's show you the brand new version of the Eastlake Animal Education Centre. So welcome to the brand new version of the Eastlake Animal Education Centre. What are we thinking? So I really like it. I'm really excited to finally show this off. Obviously nothing here is finished yet. It's all sort of a work in progress, but I'm really happy with what I've done so far. So we've got our brand new entrance, and you'll notice that these sort of appear and reappear the further away we get. It's just to do with the view and stuff like that. But we've got a brand new entrance building. So ignore these aren't staying here. So this was where there was a pond before, and the old entrance was about here. I think we'd come through this path here, and then you would enter that way. So the entrance I've now swiveled round a little bit, and we've also got rid of a car park. I'll explain everything, don't worry. So we've got our lovely framed entrance here, and then there's this main path that you'd walk down to get into the Eastlake Animal Education Centre. Now, it's a circular building with 2 rectangular offshoots. They're not the same size, the rectangular offshoots, and they're also completely unintentionally, and it really annoyed me at first actually, they're slightly skewered in terms of where they're placed on the circular building, so they're not symmetrical, if that makes sense. So it's just, it'll make sense, don't worry. So you come down here and you walk through these doors. I've just kept the column in for now in case I've got any more things to do. And then you've got these viewing windows. Oh, they're not viewing windows really, but you've got these windows in the roof. And then this is actually the dome from the reptarium entrance hall that I've reused here. Looks really cool. So you'd come in, and you've got a welcome desk. You can buy your tickets from here if you want to. You can go to the left and get your tickets from these ticket machines that are totally not ATMs. Or you can pre-book online. Then on here we've got our dedications wall. So at the moment we've only got the one, which is Alaise, which was our Arctic fox, which is the last original animal from Eastlake to pass away. So it was only appropriate that we created a little memorial for her. She died on the 10th of July last year. It's nearly been a year, sort of. I mean, it's April when I'm recording this, so still 3 months. And yeah, so you'd come through here and you've got your entrance gates now, and it's still lovely and shaded, and you get these amazing views of like the city buildings, and it just looks so good. I love how it looks. And then you've got staff only through here, so they don't have to go through the ticket booths. They can come through here. I'll show you what this is in just a second. But you enter, and the main sort of focus point of you entering are these statues. So statue in the middle is going to be dedicated to the Dunswell Zoological Society taking over the running of the Eastlake Animal Education Centre, which is of course how this series started. Statue on the right, the lion, is going to be dedicated to the opening of the Eastlake Animal Education Centre when it very first opened more than 100 years ago. And the statue on the left is going to be for the opening of the Eastlake Seal Sanctuary, which we will be building in a future episode. To our left, we've got the gift shop and the little food court here. And we've also got these sort of rooms here. So these are the first 3 classrooms. So with it being an animal education centre, you're going to want classrooms for visiting school children and colleges and universities and like team building exercises and things like that. So we've got 2 normal classrooms which are yet to be furnished. And then we've got a sort of show and tell classroom. So you would sit on these sort of bleachers, and there'd be an area down here, and you'd be shown like animals like in the flesh. So this is a tortoise, this is a bat, things like that. The ambassador animals, so to speak. And then obviously just to show you that it's not finished, we've got a bit of dead space here. I just need to fill that area in a little bit. We've got a smaller seating court over here. And then we've got our gift shop. Nothing much has actually changed in the gift shop. We've got a new sort of circular thing. I'm going to put some doors on the gift shop though. You don't want it open all seasons. And then we've got our t-shirts, our masks, our statues, our hats, same sort of thing. We've got the Australia pack paintings as well, like a little mosaic. We've got a Barbarossa and a tapir, posters, and then the sort of Eastlake and Dunswell colours going on there. We've got some of the new caps in, so the snow leopard cap, the frog cap, the giraffe cap, the moose cap. Do love a moose. And yeah, nothing else has really changed in here. It's just sort of adding the caps. It will be getting a revamp at some point in the future. I have seen another creator do an amazing gift shop, and I want to try and do something like that. So we'll get onto that at some point in the future. These planters, I saw these in a zoo tour that Delay Designer did. So I studied it quite intently and then basically copied what they'd done. And I'm really pleased with it. So we've got these smaller planters here, and then we've got these larger planters here, because with a plaza this big you need a lot of shade. And we've got a mixture of sort of smaller trees and these massive well-established trees, and it just creates a really nice sort of natural yet modern aesthetic. We've got these circles in the floor just to sort of break up the monotony of single coloured floors. And we've got these sort of curbs between them. Again, curved. I wanted to keep off the grid as much as possible for this. So we've got lots of curves going on, lots of fluidity, that sort of thing. This is going to be a little photo area where you can get your photo taken that says, I visited the Eastlake Animal Education Centre, stuff like that. And then we'll head back over in this direction. Don't want to miss anything. That's just access to this building for staff. I'll show you what's in that building. I mean, you've already sort of seen what's going to be in that building, to be honest, so let's zip on through. So it's the Memberships, Adoptions and Guest Services building. You'd come in and then you've just got a desk, and there'd be like 3 or 4 people working here for adoptions, memberships and just sort of general information. And then through here is just like a little dead space. I just put like a staff room or something like that, and then staff can enter and exit into the actual main area. In the middle here we've got this building which was quite difficult to build. It's a bit rough around the edges, but because you don't see it from ground level, it looks absolutely fine. At the minute we've just got 4 education board things in here, conservation education boards, but I was thinking of having like a history of Eastlake. So obviously you can enter through one of these 2, that's going to be your main point of entry, and then you'd have like, I don't know, 1900, 1950s, 1970s, 1980s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s, and then the future, stuff like that. I think that'd be really cool to have. And then over on the right here we've got incredible insects. So the Reptarium obviously held everything, so reptiles, insects, arachnids and amphibians. I've now separated all that up. So there is still going to be a Reptarium, but it is just going to hold reptiles, but not amphibians. So this one's incredible insects, so this would just be for the beetles and the snails, things like that. And the centipedes. Completely blank at the moment, obviously not done any interiors because nothing's set in stone that this is how it's going to look. Again, from that same video, I saw these talk board things, what they'd created. So I sort of copied that as well, because it's a really good idea. So we've got talks, so these are the times that the talks will be taking place. We've got experiences, and then we've got information. So the experiences might change. I don't think you would generally have experiences sort of advertised within a zoo. They're usually sort of advertised online or at the entrance. So technically, you know, this is still fine, the experiences, because then what you could do is you could say, oh, I want to go for the, I don't know, the otter feeding experience for £50. So you toddle all the way back over to the information booths and you'd order the otter experience, and then you'd already show that you've got a ticket, and then you would head on out into what will be the Animal Education Centre. We do have a habitat in the entrance plaza, we'll get onto that shortly. We also have the cafe. So whereas before you would have entered in this direction and the entrance to the cafe was like right next to the entrance, we've now flipped the entrance to the cafe. So it's down here. And you enter. And we've got the stalls here. And this just needs a little bit of detail. We've got the swing open gate there. Just needs a little bit of detail added. And we've just got like benches and booths. The booths aren't usable, but no one needs to know. And then of course we have our habitat. So we've got the tunnels here. And this habitat is going to be for the prairie dogs. The black-tailed prairie dogs would be the first animal that you see when you enter the Eastlake Animal Education Centre. So I've just thought I'd put these signs in as placeholders. They're not size relevant for the prairie dogs, they're not this big. And who knows, we might get something in the next DLC that can cohabitate with the prairie dog. And we might be able to add something else to this habitat as well. But I really liked the idea of it being a prairie dog habitat, which is one of the first animals you see when you go to Northumberland Zoo, is the prairie dogs, and they're actually outside the zoo. You don't have to pay to see the prairie dogs technically. I don't necessarily agree with that, because we've got money to make here for conservation, so our prairie dogs are actually behind the entrance, so you do have to pay to see them. And yeah, I just really like how this is going to look. So the rock work's more or less final at the back. We do have more rock work to add, a bit more terrain work here and there, but just to give you the general idea. And then we've got these sort of education boards. These are habitat education boards. So these will work with the education need. So the designs are taken from, let's have a look, and it would be board, and it would be, no, not board, screen, no. Habitat, Steam Workshop, and I can't find them now. What's that one? Barnyard Essentials. There for birds, for Dunswell. Spoiler alert. Do you know I can't find the bloody things now? Is it going to be under information? So we've got some lions signs there. I can't find them anymore. But yeah, so the style is taken from a blueprint. Might be easy to find them in here actually. Apparently not. Oh, hang on, popped up. These. Brad's Modern Sign. So, here's one of Brad's modern signs. And I really like how modern and sort of conservation friendly it looks. So, I've gone ahead and sort of part copied the design. Obviously, we can see that Brad's are smaller and things like that. So we'll be creating our own habitat education. We've got two going on. There will be a talk here as well. Real emphasis on education here. And then over at this side, you've got something that you might have seen. We've got the banners. I really wanted banners for Eastlake, so going ahead and got those in. So I need to create those. We've got our information here. The toilets here, so I need to put the doors back on them. And then we've got some staff access around the back. Oops. At the barnyard, I've already shown you, nothing's changed there, so we don't need to go back in there. And then all I've done out here is to stop people from like lining up and looking at the pigs. I've put an ice cream shop out here. It's a really modern ice cream shop. It does still need a little bit of detail. As I've said many times, it's just the sort of bare bones. There's some seating areas here. We've really tried to block this view of the pigs as much as possible. And there's a lovely little pond here. And it's a really nice place to just sort of sit and relax. I would love to eat ice cream in this spot. Then I've left a gap here for potentially some indoor housing for the prairie dogs. Generally they don't have indoor housing. Prairie dogs tend to be alright in the UK climates. But you never know, I might just put like a little building on, something like that. And then here we're going to have a banner that says your adventure starts now. And you got the zoo map. Again, that video from Delay Designer. I saw that they had these really cool zoo maps. And I was like, oh my god, I need to have that. And yeah, sort of replicated it. And then, boom, we're into relatively new stuff. So here we've got these signs. So barnyard, woodland walk, butterfly journey, reptarium. And then this is now the offshore area, which has got larger, but there's a reason for that. So this area here is going to be for offshore animals, or animals waiting to move into habitats. And that's going to allow us to really develop the animal education centre. So we have the animals sort of in the zoo already, and then we build this building for them, and we can learn what they like and dislike, and then we can really create that perfect habitat for them. And then these buildings, at the minute, they are a bit sort of rough around the edges, but they do actually have a function, these buildings at the moment, which is they house all the exhibit animals from the reptarium. I moved them all in here. And these are the butterfly walkthroughs. I moved them in here. I got a lovely little monarch butterfly there. So yeah, that's what that would be. We have got a train station now. So a few people in the previous video did point out that the transport was a little bit far away for people in the old version of the Eastlake Animal Education Centre. So they would have had to have gone, I think it was over there somewhere, for the first station, whereas now it is much closer. So you sort of turn around here, and right as you start looking at animals after the prairie dogs, you've got your train station. The next station after this would be the Woodland Walk, and the station prior to this, I'm not 100% sure what that would be yet. You can see here, this is where we're going to house the reptiles. It looks massive, don't worry. It's not going to be that big. It's also not going to look big either. We are going to provide ample space for all the animals, but these are just the sort of size requirements. So sulcata tortoise habitat, it's not going to be a square habitat. As long as it has that space minimum, the sulcata tortoises are going to be quite happy. Same with the Aldabra, and same with the Galapagos. And we're going to sort of theme it that way. So all our tortoises rather are going to be together. All our sort of monitors are going to be together. So Komodo dragon, Nile monitor, and Asian water monitor. And then all our crocodilians and alligators are going to be together. So spectacled caiman, gharial, Cuvier's dwarf caiman, saltwater croc, and alligators. And then we're also going to have snakes in here as well, and the other lizards. So the eastern blue-tongued lizard, the iguanas, things like that, they're going to be in the reptarium as well. Amphibians are going to be a separate building, just because we can really emphasise the importance of protecting water-based ecosystems and how important amphibians are as part of that, like the frog extinction crisis and the threat that axolotls face in the wild. So the amphibians are going to be a separate section. This area down here is the new butterfly house. So it's much smaller compared to the one in the previous version of Eastlake. And that's good, because although I liked the one in the previous version of Eastlake, it was ridiculous. Really, it was. This is a much smaller, much more bespoke version. We've got our wildflower meadow over on the right here. We're going to have some education about the importance of pollinators and what you can do to help pollinators, things like that. We've still got our planted boundary here, but you do get some more sort of sneak peeks of the outside. You can see the lake and stuff like that. I got lost. So for now, this area I've earmarked as the bat house. It's got to somehow fit in this, so it'll be a weird shape, but that's absolutely fine. And we're going to have our two species of bats in there. So we've got the Egyptian fruit bat and the spectacled flying fox, I believe, are our two species of foxes in Planet Zoo at the moment. So we're going to have 3 of each. And then you would come down this. It does kink in the path a little bit. I might change that just to make it a bit more straight. I know we're trying to keep things off the grid, I don't like the fact there's a kink in the path. And then this would take you up and over a little bridge. Hopefully the train can fit through there. I haven't actually tested it, but it looks like it can. And this would take you into the Reptarium. And then obviously the station needs doing. Then one of my favourite views actually in all of Eastlake at the moment is this. So it just looks like one really long path. But the further you get down it, the more interesting I find it gets. So we've got a little board here that we never did anything with. You've got the llama habitat at the back here. This will be the back of the Reptarium. We've got the train here. And then you can go left into the barnyard. You can go straight on to the woodland walk. Or you can turn right and go across the crossing that way. And it's going to look amazing once it's done, hopefully. So the woodland walk, it's more or less staying as it is. The only thing I'm changing is some of the species that we're including in the Eastlake Animal Education Centre. So I'm going to base the areas on ecosystems. So I'm doing a zookeeping course at the moment, and generally there are two ways of displaying animals in zoos. You either display them based on their geography, so South American animals, African animals, European animals, North American animals, so on. Or you display them based on their taxonomy, so all the big cats, all the bears, all the ungulates, all the primates, things like that. So I'm going to base mine on ecosystems. So all the forest animals are going to go together. All the sort of pasture, grassland, field animals are going to go together. All the aquatic animals are going to go together, with the exception of the seal sanctuary, which is going to be its own separate thing. And we're going to do it like that. It's going to help enhance the education aspect of Eastlake, which is what I really want, is to really hone in the education of that. And you get some great views on the train as well. So it's going to curve around the back of a habitat here, and you actually get to glimpse the goats in the barnyard, and then it's going to curve back around, and then other habitats and things like that. So if you remember, this was the sort of main entry and exit way, and you could go left to a car park for just the park, or you could go right to the car park for the zoo. And although it was alright, it also didn't really make sense, because people from the zoo could just park in the park's car park, and people for the park could park in the zoo's car park, and it would just clog spaces what I needed. I'm not going to expand the car park any more than it is at the moment. I think that's quite sufficient. But I've got rid of the other car park on the left, and we've just put the playground here, and just a little bit of open field, bit of grass, and then the path curves around here, and then you can either go that way, or you can take a little bit more of a scenic walk for some reason and come around the back and go that way. And then you've got an entrance and exit point here, and then that needs to be moved. I haven't really changed the barrier much. There is the other car park here as well. I think that's a sufficient amount of car parking. So this was the original car park created by Dan XG, because this is his map for Tropical Wings Zoo. So this was his original car park. So I've kept that in. I think that's fine. That's ample parking. So this will be for the park, and this will be for the zoo. Having said that, for the park, if you are parking here, you can't actually get to the lake from here. You would have to exit the park and leave. So you would exit the park here, and you'd run past these houses, and you'd have to run all the way down here, past the houses on the outside of the park, probably stepping in dog poo. And eventually you would reach a point where you can re-enter the park, which should just be coming up. I do like this area actually. You see like little wildflowers and stuff there. And eventually, yeah, opposite the shops and near the church, you can re-enter the park here, run back in, and now you have access to the lake area of the East Lake Park. I have changed a few things with the lake actually. So we've got here, this would obviously continue to the park, and then this road, it needs a bit of TLC but it's fine for now. This would continue in that direction as well. Yeah, I've changed the format of the lake a little bit, so there's now an extra two islands, sorry, a little one there and a big one here. But you get a really good view from the bridge, until I plant all that up, of course. But yeah, it's gonna look great. And then we'll put some planting on here. And then this island is actually partly within the zoo boundary. And this is just going to be like a little nature area. That's why I've not connected it up yet. But you'll just be able to disappear into nature here and get some nice views, things like that. Just a nice little natural habitat for things. I do need to adjust this fence a little bit, because technically you could still swing around or walk around and get access to the zoo for free, which is obviously not what we want. The other side's fine because there's the bridge there, and there's going to be like a load of bushes and things that will stop you from getting to that point. Anyway, that's the changes. This has gone on far long enough. We've got solar panels as well. I'm really happy with it. Please let me know what you think in the comments section below. Obviously, again, I do need to just reiterate that everything you've seen is not final. It's still a work in progress. But let me know if you prefer this to the other version of the East Lake Animal Education Centre. I do need your feedback for this one. I really like this, I do. I think I am going to stick with this, but I want your feedback for this one. So, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It really helps me out, helps the channel grow. Plenty more content on the way. I've been JW. You can find me on Instagram at JW_YT. And if you're interested in wildlife photography, I also have a wildlife photography Instagram as well, which is at JW_wildlife photography. Although I haven't posted anything on there for a very, very long time. And my backlog of photos to edit is ridiculously long. And I don't think I'm ever going to get around to doing it. But fingers crossed. I've been JW. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe. Stay kind. Please do leave your feedback in the comment sections below. And I will see you all in the next video for the East Lake Animal Education Centre. Thank you very much for watching, and bye-bye for now.